Hello, and this is Dr. Glenn Shepard. I am doing a video now on brainwashed. Are you brainwashed? How do you know if you're brainwashed or not? Do you feel brainwashed? Okay, this is the topic I wanted to explore here, because a lot of people are brainwashed and they don't know it. Okay, I've been brainwashed. I admit it. Trying to get over it. And some people may not be brainwashed. That's great. So, but this is the topic. Okay, what is brainwashing, and how do you know you're brainwashed, and how do you get over it? Okay, basically, the idea of brainwashing is kind of simple. You just repeat a message over and over again, a loop. And then it becomes the narrative. Okay, you're trying to control the narrative. And that's why you brainwash people, right, to control the narrative, so they do what you say, because you repeat it. You say, buy this shampoo over and over and over again, a million times, and then you go buy the shampoo. Or a political person like Trump, for instance, he's a master at this, of repeating the message over and over, and people believe it. After a while, some people do. And it's the control of the narrative. Like, this is the way it's supposed to be, this is the way you're supposed to act, and, that's what brainwashing is all about, okay? Now, there's brainwashing that you may or may not think too much about. You're aware, I'm sure you are, of the white Christian superiority narrative. Okay, and that's one in which the Christian churches from early days, from Roman Catholic on, has created this narrative that Christians are superior to other people. We actually have the right to take over people, kill people, slave people, whatever, because the Christians are better. There's the Calvinism back in the 16th century, and that was a policy that only a few people would ever go to heaven, sort of thing, that God had his favored ones, chosen ones, and most people would not go to heaven. So the narrative was, we are superior. You become part of our group, and you may or may not be chosen even for them. So they use that. They use this whole narrative to go out and begin, okay, so that means we can kill people that are pagans, or people who are in Africa, for instance. We're better than they are. We're superior. And then the manifest destiny was in the 19th century, the 1800 range, and that was another example of us saying, we Christians are superior, and we have the right to take over all of America, basically, and we did. And we killed American Native Americans like crazy. And then we use this narrative today. So much hatred and so much prejudice that's going on today in America, particularly, is part of this narrative. The KKK, Nazi groups. There's all kinds of hate groups. People just hate different groups for no apparent reason, because they feel superior. This whole superior narrative, and we're all part of it. So in the Christian Crusades during the early 400 to say 1400, 1600 even, over about 1,000 years, killed over 1 million people. Estimates have been actually higher, but Christians on their crusades would go out and kill anybody who didn't believe in Christianity or Christ. The idea, they called them opaque. They were all pagans, and there were Druids in Europe, and then the Muslims, of course, the Crusades there. All total was over 50 million deaths for either starvations and physical deaths. And then again, when we wanted to control Africa, we used the to this whole superiority thing to say it's okay to capture people, enslave them, bring them in boats, beat them, kill them, and over 50 million deaths were during this slave period, over 50 million. And then the Christians' control of Native America. They not just the United States Native Americans, but North and South America had this whole attitude of we're superior. We're going to teach them about Christ, and if they die, they die, but they're better off dead than not Christians. That's really how they felt. And 90% of the population, the indigenous population, were killed. Another 50 million massacred by white Christians. And we are the ones that believe or have fallen for this brainwashing, that's okay. It's not okay. Hello. Okay, how did we get here? Well, think of 1984. I don't know if you've read the book, George Orwell, but in that, the authoritarian captured somebody and asked him what 2 plus 2 was. And the guy said 4. Well, the captor said, no, it's 5. Okay, so that's the story of this. And the man just, said, no, I just see 4, hold up 2 fingers and 2 fingers, how many you see? And the guy just kept saying 4. Well, he was beaten and food held back and, whatever tortures and things until eventually the guy said 2 plus 2 is 5. Well, the torturer still wouldn't accept that. He wanted the guy to not only just say it, but he wanted him to believe it. And he kept torturing the man until finally the man believed that 2 plus 2 was 5. So that's what they want you to do, the brainwashing. They want power over your mind, your thoughts. They don't want you to think anymore. If they say 2 plus 2 is 5, you better believe, you better say it's 5. Okay? And again, people like authoritarians all over the world, kings, today Putin and Trump is doing the same sort of thing. He wants you to say whatever he tells you is the truth. And that's total brainwashing. That's total control. And that's what these people want. Now, schools are also been used for indoctrination and brainwashing. They've been used, and I have another video, History of Education, to watch that one. And again, I've written about this in my books, these type information on the videos. But schools have been used to train children to do whatever society and business wants them to do and think the way they want them to think. They don't give them any freedom. They're very prison-like. They even lock up parents who say, don't take your children to school or something, or children who don't want to go to school. They're punished. Okay, and could even be put in juvenile detention centers for not doing, not taking your indoctrination, so you're being brainwashed to accept whatever the American belief that competition and whatever they want you to do, okay? And then there's media. Of course, the media is a huge brainwashing tool, I guess you call it, from TV. And now we have the internet with, all the social media and things like YouTube that you're watching here, and but these are huge. It's a huge operation to control your thoughts in your mind, to influence you. There's even people called influencers, okay? And they want to influence your thoughts or your consciousness. They want to tell you what to buy, for instance. That's a biggie, of course. Making money, it's a huge thing about it. Everybody wants to make a lot of money, so they want to sell you whatever. So you have one thing after another trying to convince you. Well, but they also want to convince you there's political people and others, business and whatever reasons, they want to control you as well. Okay, so they're using these social media programs and internet to entertain you and to brainwash you and keep you from asking questions. Okay, that's another important thing. They don't want you to ask questions. And that's where I'm saying, why do they brainwash us? Because they want power and they do not want you to ask questions. Okay? Keep your mouth shut. Don't ask why the world is the way it is. Don't ask why 25,000 people die every day from malnutrition and lack of health needs. 25,000 every day. Nobody says, okay, why is that? Is there anything we could do? See, they don't want you to ask that question. They don't want to ask you any hard questions about, can we improve something or not, type thing. They want to keep your mouth shut, accept what they give you and tell you to do. Okay? It's that simple. So what can you do? Well, first is to be knowledgeable about what's being done to you and really think about it. And it won't be easy. It's not something you can snap your fingers and say, oh, well, okay, I understand now, I'm being brainwashed. There's a lot of layers of being brainwashed. So, you've got to weed yourself through this mess and figure out how you can become free. How can you find yourself? Who are you? What do you want to do? How do you feel? What do you think about things? And it's more about feelings than anything else. Do you feel angry and jealous, and you want power, and or your feelings more toward caring and love and for others and making a good life and being happy, that sort of thing. What frequency level is your consciousness at? Okay, and that's the very important question that we all have to examine within ourselves. In order to reach some sort of enlightenment for ourselves, we have to really understand who we are. And so I want you to continue to watch my videos and read my books and find out more. And I wish you well. All right.